Okay.
Take it from me.
All right, welcome back to our next game here. We have, again, two teams from our pickup game lobbies. Those teams are going to be Team MUNBASTIC and Team Whatever You Want, playing each other for this one match of game. Match of Swarm. I can speak. Anyways, we're going to hop right in here with Team Whatever You Want, running another interesting comp. We're going to have Carly and Mom, and then two flex picks, Jim and Holly together. This is going to sacrifice the long-term healing that Doc gives you just better efficiency out of your healing items over the course of a game, but it will increase the amount of damage the team is able to put out. Now, this one, of any of those flex picks that you might try to make, it's probably one of the more reasonable. If you want to try to add a second flex in there, have to see how they play around it.
A little knowledge can be worth more than the weapon in your hand.
Probably going to want to watch Taki, the Carly player, running a power swap and Barrett build. Also got a nice barrel there set up in the corner. Hadn't noticed that before. Excuse me, an AA12 and Tech 9 power swap build. I was looking at the wrong loadout there.
And the first engagement coming out, the tall boy getting shredded almost immediately. Second tall boy going for some knocks, and it does get a good amount of damage in, but it is shredded, and that should be the first fight.
Played off each other beautifully there. A significant amount of damage. I think they used a nade for the first tall boy, which is exactly what the Ridden want to have happen. And because there's no Doc, that damage is more or less permanent. You're going to have to deal with that for quite a while.
Second tall boy coming in, getting naded immediately. That's going to be a lot of resources engaged just this early, especially 30 seconds in.
Indeed, pretty much slowing it down almost immediately. The second tall boy's in. He shouldn't last very long. If he gets any sort of value here, I'd be amazed. No, I can't seem to even hit the shot. A little bit of panic there. Everybody's shooting at him. He is doing more damage than I expected,
not
though.
Coming in from that second tall boy, out of nowhere, jumping from the top rope. But they do get a triple nade, securing this pretty hard.
I cannot believe the tall boy got as much value as it did. Probably the way it should have ended from the beginning there with that little bit of stagger. Anyways, I'm interested in seeing where Jim wants to set up here. He's looking for angles with this scoped Barrett, trying to get the Wretch. See if he can make something happen there.
Hard boy pushing in, and he gets flashed. He's gonna get burned pretty quickly, but where's this other tall boy getting a knockdown? They're gonna go for a res, mom res coming out very quickly, and it seems like that's gonna be...
I think Psycheric just cut out a little bit.
Unfortunate.
But that's all right. Moving into the next fight here momentarily. Again, you're seeing, like I said, a lot of healing required to get a little bit of healing done. A full knock already had.
That is going to be devastating without that sustain.
Whoa.
You just keep getting pressured out. Mom getting knocked down. No mom res to even be had if she was left standing. But there's going to just be the sustain from this Holly and Harley. But Mom... Oh, and the defib coming up, getting Jim back up. But that seems like when he hit the exploder, knocking them back into the swarm to get the knock on the Carly.
Wow, and the anti-heal now prevents the second stabilization, almost entirely relying on SD's Vanguard and his melee build. The propane could maybe save this, does not kill the tall boy.
Oh, the knock coming in out the tall boy. Wretch layering the field as the two tall boys congeal, taking this... Well, you know what I mean. Sometimes you and your buddy, you're both locking the tall boy. Your arms are in synchrony. You are one body, and they are the ones getting bodied.
No, I
right,
have
or am I
absolutely
right?
no idea what you're talking about. You're
You'll learn
really
when you're
weird.
older.
I am older than you. Anyways, so yes, that was a pretty good execution, 1 or 2 fights in a row. What I wanted to call attention to was in one of those fights, there was a perfectly placed flash that caught both tall boys right on the edge of its range, and it actually allowed for them to get a full 4-man stabilization. Even though they lost the very next fight in the 2v2 that it was, that should have been the end of the game right there. Even only hitting one tall boy with that flash, the other tall boy would have got the down, then turned around, they would have got 10 seconds. Because that flash was placed perfectly, that was a 30-second play. Easily. Swapping sides here. We're going to see the team that we are following, MUNBASTIC, or excuse me, not MUNBASTIC, team whatever you want, has swapped to the Ridden side. And it looks like they're running a Stinger comp. We've been seeing a lot of those the last couple of games. Maybe they're trying to decide if they want to do something else, but knowing these players, I have a feeling they're going to be pretty confident on the double Stinger. We know what they're capable of, and yep, there you go. We're going to see them placing lots of points straight into the Stinger, trying to get those builds up as fast as possible. The tall boys are the supports here, folks. The tall boys. Players to watch are both of your Stingers, Fuzzy Panda and SD. Both of those players know how to play Stinger quite well.
Ooh. And you know when the tall boys, the support, you're going to be in a hell of a ride. You know some weird stuff's about to take place.
It's a very interesting way to play the game, really. I mean, like, your tall boys are still doing damage, right? It's almost like the comp is just lots of raw damage, except it's the tall boys that are making openings with their displacement.
Ammo boxes in there.
Anyways, it's almost like the tall boys are making plays for the Stingers to capitalize on, because they're using their displacement to separate people, to pull aggro. As long as they don't accidentally give them doubles, which we've been seeing SD do all night, you know, I have no trouble believing they can hit the 235 mark. That said, the very middle of the road time could go either direction. Hard to know 100% for sure until we see it happen. Bye.
Hello?
Hello? Are you cutting out, or are you just not saying
No,
anything?
I didn't say anything. Just
Oh, okay, okay.
Just started.
Understood.
Alrighty.
We're going to immediately see a nade used to cut off those first two tall boys. It's all right, though, because the Stingers aren't really looking for kills just yet. They just want to do some free damage and not die so that they can keep farming their points. And you'll notice every single time they have a moment.
Right here. Getting the
Points
knocked off the nade, immediately trading. The second tall boy coming in, rotating after, not to get naded themselves, but they get burned.
Absolutely destroyed. But again, the real threats are the Stingers. These Stingers have been alive all 50 seconds so far, absolutely destroying the med supply of the Cleaners and building up a reserve of mutation points. I would be surprised if the Stingers have their build online by a minute 15.
And tall boy engaging. They're playing separate, so they aren't able to get naded instantly. They aren't using the resources. There it is, clearing up. And he should be on the back foot now.
I actually think they were pretty close. I think the Cleaners could have gotten a double there if they were a little bit more careful with their nade placement, maybe a little bit of panic. Anyways, you'll notice for the first time, one of the Stingers has died, finally putting an end to that farm, but it might be too late as we near a minute 30. This could be the only fight the Ridden need.
And Tallboy taking out one of the flankers, hard pressuring. They are going to get focused fire, just showing how powerful that shredder and that focus fire from your whole team can be, instantly killing them.
Yeah, it's probably the lack of slow. You get used to playing Tallboy with wretches. There's slow goo everywhere. No one can really run from you. It's hard to see sometimes, even with Reekers blowing up all over you. You got Stingers out there instead, and until they get their Stinger update...
And immediately burned down again. Second Tallboy coming in from the flank, but are they going to be able to do anything? Knocking some close to the ring into the Stinger's line of sight, but it's not enough here.
Don't count him out just yet. That next Tallboy respawn is right there, and both Stingers are still alive. They are on the defense.
A huge B-hop, knocking them back into their own flames, and they get shredded once again. Second Tallboy coming off the top. He is going to be able to deny this res. Playing for time, it might look like the Cleaners are able to make it through just by the skin of their teeth, and that is game.
Unfortunately, those Tallboys simply did not get the value they needed to get in their first few fights. I think they had maybe 2 fights where they gave the Cleaners a double with either barrel, propane, nade, whatever it might be. Just in general, felt like they died unbelievably fast. You saw that too, right?
Yeah, looked like they were just getting shredded. They didn't have any opportunity to really make a difference with their support.
If I'm correct, I believe that part of what's happening is that the other team is running a walker and they have 3 DPS players. I think everyone except their dock player might be running a damage build. So with that in mind, it's probably about time to take a hawker, because when you take a hawker, you can immediately get on top of someone who's doing a lot of damage, like a walker. You hawk them, they're out of the fight, especially if they're playing a little bit spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you send the tall boy on someone else, not the person who's hawked, so that nobody can go get them out. And then that difference in damage can allow the tall boys to actually get some more work done. The double stinger does work, but I don't see a reason not to switch to the hawker. I mean, the hawker would get a lot of the benefits from a lot of the upgrades they built into now anyways.
Yeah, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I think that it's kind of slept on, specifically with these tall boys and how aggressive they've been. Landing those high value hawks, it's something I think that overall needs to be explored a bit more. Like,
we'll have to see if they make that kind of adaptation anytime this round. I think for now they're very all in on their strategy. They're hoping to get on top of one person instantly. I believe that by now, for sure, their stingers have the ability to go in and join the tall boys. What I'm hoping doesn't happen is that they go in and give someone a 4-man nade, because a full 30 seconds to do whatever you want off of just one nade is not a good trade. At least it's not for the Ridden.
Yeah, well, we just gotta hope. Maybe we'll have a different turn of events this time. Lots of Molotovs coming in this game, though. I think that's 8 I've seen this game. Hopefully someone's running Pyro.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of that. Personally, I run Pyro all the time. Not all the time, but...
Quick spawns coming in. The tall boy getting some initial damage, but immediately Mun gets killed. It's gonna, nade coming out. That's gonna be pretty clear for first win or first round.
Sort of what I was worried about. I feel like something like a hawker or even an unupgraded wretch could really, really help. Oh my god.
Oh, the hard engage almost taking out the sniper. That would have been a huge value pick, but a little bit too early, not allowing their tall boys to get in.
SD is already right back in, trying to follow up. It didn't happen, though. And he traded his life for it.
Yeah, it's a little bit too staggered, playing it bit individually to get these resources out, but that was 2 nades coming out on the side of the cleaners. It's, resource-wise, really dangerous.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you're this sunk into the double stinger strategy, just 2 tall boys is not going to do it. You need the stinger damage, too. That's where all your points went. Your tall boys can't take 3 nades and 2 power swap Belgian shredder shots.
And re-engaging, the tall boy does go in to get some damage and knocking one. That's going to be the first knock of this fight. Both tall boys looking pretty fresh. One getting burned completely, and now it's going to be on the reset. 15 seconds.
Could be looking at a full reset here for the cleaners. The swarm is going to push them back towards their stockpile. If they're slow on this rotation, could create an opportunity for the Ridden to move in on them. See how they're slightly separated from that one other player.
Stinger trying to take out Walker, slowly getting their attention to stop them from sniping and keeping them off their teammate. And then the support of the tall boy coming in, knocking Walker. That's going to be the first knock of this fight. Are they able to get a second? Denying the res, they aren't able to as they get the quick mom res. Tall boy pushing up.
I don't believe that was a mom res. I believe they used a defib to pick him up super fast there. Looks like maybe we have someone trapped in the tomb here. Can't escape.
Coming back, the res does come up. Both of them getting full healed from that combat medic. It's going to be very rough, but as the tall boys push him into the corner, firing, sacrifice, proccing, it's going to be very difficult for them to survive. That's game.
Well, you could absolutely tell the difference at a certain point. There was one upgrade. I couldn't tell exactly which one it was, that once the Stingers got it, they were in every fight. It was no longer sniping. They were in with the tall boys, trading out with them, just like if you had 4 tall boys on your team, right? And once that started happening, things really did start dying. But you know what? I don't think it can be overstated just how important it was for the team for the Ridden team, for team whatever you want there, that someone misstepped and went out to the crypt and got himself picked in a place that he couldn't get rezzed. That lack of damage, functionally the equivalent of someone getting hawked right at the start of a fight. Right? I feel like maybe that was more value than whatever you want might be given credit for, and perhaps Team MUNBASTIC still has the ability to pull the rug out from under them on the Ridden side here.
I'll take it.
Very kind of average time, 2 minutes 15, a little bit earlier than we would expect, but I guess we're going to have to see what they're able to pull out here.
It is a fast time. Going to depend a little bit on how many nades that the that team, whatever you want, has to actually spend on these first 2 minutes. Because, you know, if you have enough nades to just straight up win the round, you know, you should obviously do that. But we'll have to see exactly how it plays out.
Early exploder spawn comboed with a Tallboy punch. It's going to be an immediate knockdown onto their mom. That's a very powerful start. Flash coming out to
dangerous.
stop them from canceling the res. That is a very powerful start on the side of the rhythm.
That could have been very, very scary. Losing your mom like that, at least they had the nade and it got the value, and the other Tallboy wasn't in position to follow up.
Point blank. Floater onto our gym here.
As they run around now, looking for a new place to play, they're going to catch Mom out a second time. How does this keep happening?
Res coming out, they are going to be able to stabilize here, but the exploder comes in to interrupt, getting the re-knockdown. That is going to be very bad. You're going to be seeing some Tallboys coming back in here, hopefully coming from behind these graves.
This is absolutely a scary reminder to Team Whatever You Want that this game isn't one for, or this round isn't one for them. With their mom already full dead, never having used the mom res, and 2 more nades out from Jim. They have another full minute to go with almost no utility, and they're about to lose another player.
That is devastating. They have to rough it for 1 minute more. We're going to be seeing some quick respawns right from the top as the exploder tries to interrupt, gets to the interrupt, Tallboy as well. And they're going to be hard focusing this Holly. 23 health, it's going to be very close. Getting knocked into the swarm, Jim, the exploder, taking him out. Just Holly trying to survive with whatever is left into the coffin with 3 health, and they take the pus.
Simply too much damage at the start of the round. The mom can't get caught out twice in a row like that. I think they spent a total of 3 nades just undoing those mistakes and trying to fix them back up.
Truly a devastating way to start that round.
Well played to both teams. Absolutely a great game to watch, just like just about every game tonight. Can't wait to cast a couple more. See you guys soon.